León, Guanajuato. León Spanish pronunciation, León is the most populous city and municipality in the Mexican state of Guanajuato. In the 2015 Intercensal Survey, INEGI reported 1,578,626 people living in the municipality of León, making it the fourth most populous municipality in Mexico. The metropolitan area of León recorded a population of 1,630,094 in the 2010 census, making it the seventh most populous metropolitan area in Mexico. León is part of the macroregion of Bajío within the Central Mexican Plateau. León has a strong leather industry, offering shoes, boots, belts, jackets, and other leather accessories to national and international markets. The leather industry earned its inhabitants the nickname of green belly panzaverde in Spanish because of the green tainting in the workers' bodies resulting from treating leather. Its first-class services and hotel industry make it an important commercial centers in Mexico with numerous options for entertainment, gastronomy, leisure activities, arts, and recreation. It is also considered one of the most environmentally friendly cities in Mexico and has a high number of cyclists, in part because of integrating a network of bike lanes into the SIT system. In March 2012, it received an award as City Water Champion, mainly due to great progress in the areas of sanitation, wastewater reuse, and energy cogeneration from biogas. Geography. Climate. León generally has a humid subtropical climate Köppen, CWA with summer rainfall according to Köppen climate classification, CWA that closely borders on a semi-arid climate. The average annual temperature is 19.9 deg C 67. 8 deg F. The warmest month is May with a maximum average of 31.7 deg C 89. 1 deg F, and the coolest month is January with a minimum average temperature of 7 deg C 45. 9 deg F. Outside the city microclimate island, the ranges tend to be higher, with maximum averages reaching 2 deg C 3. 6 deg F higher than in the city and minimum averages lowered by 3 deg C 5. 4 deg F or more. In the villages located in between the northern mountains, the climate changes. It is considered subtropical highland climate CWB according to Köppen climate classification. The average annual temperature is around 16 deg C 61 deg F. León averages 681 mm 26.8 in of precipitation annually, which mainly occurs during the monsoon from late June through early September, generally with thunderstorms in the evening. There is usually a discrepancy about whether León's valley is either subhumid or semi-arid. Depending on the methodology, it can be considered as being either one or the other. With Köppen's methodology, there needs to be more than 678 millimeters 27 in of annual precipitation for León to be considered as humid subtropical. According to several weather stations, it may have both humid subtropical and semi-arid terminologies applied to it. The years considered in the study may also be a determinant factor. More frequently used for international purposes is a 30 years data compilation. Years of average rainfall are rare. The usual pattern is bimodal, with some large string of dry years usually related to La Niña phenomenon slightly higher than 300 millimeters 12 and followed by other years around 5 related to El Niño that make up the average with higher than 39 inches/1000 millimeters. Snowfall is extremely rare. The latest snowfall recorded in León was in 1997, although there have been other years of registered slushy snow since 1997. Economy. The city of León is well known for its leather and footwear industry. But in the last decade, The city has also developed important economic activity in the automotive industry. Industrial parks. About 70% of all shoes made in Mexico come from León and the surrounding area. In addition to the leather works, there are also industrial chemical, plastic, polymer, transportation, and container companies. The presence of the automotive industry includes a General Motors plant in the nearby municipality of Silao. In the financial sector, León is home to the national headquarters of Banco del Bajío, owned by Salvador Onate, and to the regional headquarters of Banamex and HSBC, among other banks. Customs facility. A newly built facility within GTO Inland Port's premises speeds up the logistics process. Clearing customs in a border city or seaport is no longer a requirement for companies located in GTO Inland Port. Now they use this very convenient facility. Rail container facility. A rail container yard is now offering intermodal services for rail transportation. The facility is operated by the largest rail company in Mexico and has one of the longest rail spurs in the country. Expositions. In the Palaforum there are trade fairs throughout the year. The principal two are Zapaca Shoe Fair and Anpic, suppliers of the shoe industry. History. In the León area there are 10 distinct archaeological zones dating from the pre-classic Mesoamerican period. Most of these are identified with the Chupacuaro culture. By the Classic period, the area was under Teotihuacan and Toltec influence. In the 13th century, the Chichimekas, mostly of the Guamer and Guachichil subgroups, overran the area, migrating from an area of what is now San Luis Potosi. They remained through the colonial period. In 1530, Nuno Beltrán de Guzmán arrived with allied Tarasco Indians to the area, naming it Nuestra Senora. Homesteads were granted by the governor of Nueva Galicia, Francisco Vázquez de Coronado, to Spaniards Rodrigo de Vázquez and Juan de Jasso. Farming and cattle raising was introduced here around 1546 by the Spaniards, but these settlers were under constant threat by the Chichimecas, who recognized the Spanish as invaders. These settlers requested assistance from the viceregal authorities in Mexico City. As a response, Viceroy Martin Enriquez de Almanza ordered the founding of a city here, with the name of León, in 1575. To carry out the order, Juan Bautista de Orozco founded the village of León on 20 January 1576, creating its first town council and laying out its initial streets. In 1580, it attained the rank of alcaldia mayor, meaning it has governing authority of much of the land and smaller towns surrounding it from the Sierra de Comania to the Lerma River. For example, two other towns founded in the area were San Miguel and Coeselo. In San Miguel, the Spaniards settled the Otomi peoples, and in Coeselo were settled the Puripechas, Mexicas, and the Chichimecas that did not oppose Spanish rule. As the population of the area grew, a number of municipalities would eventually break off, such as San Francisco del Rincon, Purísima del Rincon, Purísima Concepción, City, Manuel de Blado, San Pedro Piedra Gorda, Huanimaro, Abasalo, Curamaro, and Penjamo. In 1582, the first hospital of San Cosme y San Damian was established by Father Espino. The Jesuits arrived to León in 1731, founding the Compañía Vieja, which is now the site of the Temple of the Immaculate. They also constructed the Temple of the New Company, which would become the Cathedral. However, they never finished it, as they were expelled from Mexico, 1767. On 2 July 1732 arrived an image of our Most Holy Mother of Light. She would later be declared the patron saint of the city in 1849. The population of the area suffered epidemics in 1643, droughts in 1630 and 1712, 1714, famines in 1714 and 1786, and flooding in 1637, 1749, 1762, and 1803. Independence forces under José Rafael Arayat arrived to the town on 4 October 1810. However, 2 months later Royalist forces under Félix Calleja retook the locality, with insurrectionist sympathizers facing reprisals. About 2,000 insurgents on horses attacked the town but were repulsed by Count Pérez Galvez. Royalist forces were attacked here in 1817 by Francisco Javier Mina without success. The town remained in Royalist hands until the end of the Mexican War of Independence, when Agustín de Iturbide arrived. The town did not celebrate its first Grito de Dolores to mark independence until 1825. In 1827, it became one of the 4 departments of the newly created state of Guanajuato, and in 1830, it gained city status. In 1840, Father Ignacio Aguado founded the College of San Francisco de Sales, and the College of La Mater Santissima was founded in 1844. During La Reforma War, the city changed hands various times between liberal and conservative forces between 1858 and 1860. The most notable battle of that war here was when General José Iniesta attacked the town on 18 February 1859. In that same year, León even separated for a time from the rest of the state of Guanajuato. In 1862, the bishopric of León was founded, separating the city of León and 9 other municipalities such as Irapuato, Guanajuato, and Dolores Hidalgo from the bishopric of Michoacán. Bishop Diaz de Solano opened the conciliar seminary in 1864. This bishop consecrated the Basilica Cathedral in 1866, even though it was not completed, giving the image of the Virgin of the Light a permanent home. From 1863 to 1866, the French occupied León during the French intervention, with Emperor Maximilian visiting the city in 1864. His arrival was much celebrated here, with fireworks and a hot air balloon exhibition put on by the Aleman brothers. However, when liberal forces finally had permanent control over the town, 2 incidents occurred. On 30 September 1867, Coronel Cecilio Delgado Estrada ordered his men to shoot over the heads of people who prayed in the streets, causing some to be wounded. Another incident of this type occurred in 1877. The second was more permanent. The liberals decommissioned the convent and College of Saints Peter and Paul, converting it into offices for city government. It remains such to this day. On 2 January 1946, a mob gathered in the plaza in front of the Municipal Palace to protest elections seen as illegitimate. These protesters were fired upon, killing many. This plaza has been named the Plaza of the Martyrs in their honor. Government. Notable sites. Cathedral. The main church is called the Cathedral Basilica of Our Lady of the Light and is the seat of the Archdiocese of León. Construction of the church was begun in 1746 by the Jesuits and is a combination of Baroque and neoclassic architectural styles. Construction was halted only 8 months after it began, when the Jesuit order was expelled from Mexico by the Spanish crown. The Obregon family, however, took over its construction, continuing into the 19th century. The Archdiocese of León was created in 1864, with its first bishop, José María de Jesus Diaz de Solano y Dávalos, helping to get the towers and cupola completed, as he chose the church as the seat. It was finally completed and consecrated on 16 March 1866. Pope Benedict Roman XVI officiated a Mass here in 2012. Expiatorio. Its full name is the Santuario Expiatorio del Sagrado Corazón de Jesus, Expiatory Sanctuary of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Construction of this shrine was begun in 1920 by Bernardo Chavez with the support of Bishop Imiterio Valverde y Tellez. It is neo-Gothic in design, based on the old European medieval cathedrals, but much of the outside wall space is without decoration. Its work was halted by the Cristero Wars. Since then, construction has continued off and on, and it is considered 90% complete. An important source of income for the shrine's construction is the sale of crypts. This practice was begun in 1924. A chapel dedicated to the Virgin of Lourdes was begun in 1935, and later a chapel dedicated to the Virgin of Guadalupe, which is separate from the main building, built between 1935 and 1939. A shrine with stained glass windows includes local allegories. Municipal Palace. The current Municipal Palace is of Ionic architectural style and occupies part of the site of the old Colegio Grande del Seminario de los Padres Paulinos Grand Seminary College for Pauline priests who had to abandon the city in 1860. From 1867, it was a military barracks. After the French intervention, the patio of the building contains in 1972 a bronze statue of Benito Juarez to commemorate the centennial of his death. Since then, the building has had a number of additions, such as the dome that now covers this patio, and a number of murals. These murals were painted in 1972 and 1973 by Jesus Gallardo, covering the walls of the main stairwell and the hallway of the upper floor around the patio. Portal of the Millennium. This monument was built to celebrate the arrival of the new millennium and has become a landmark for arrival into the city. There was some concern that the monument would not be ready for New Year's 2000, however the 45-meter-tall tower on 5 plinths was completed on time. It was built in a 5,400 square meter plaza planted with trees. The project cost 4.5 million pesos. Arch of the Causeway of the Heroes, Arco de la Calzada de los Heroes. This arch, Arco de la Calzada de los Heroes in Spanish, topped by a bronze lion, began construction in 1896 and has been modified a number of times since then. The first lion was added in 1943 by Francisco Lizornio Castillo, made of bricks and mortar. This was replaced by the bronze one in 1958. The idea for a bronze lion was that of the matador Antonio Velázquez, a native of León, whose bravery in the ring earned him the nickname of the Heart of León, Corazón de León in Spanish. Not long before his death in 1959, he complained that the brick lion should be replaced with a better work of art, causing something of a commotion in the León community. This caught the attention of sculptor Humberto Peraza Ojeda, who made the one that sits atop the arch today. Forum Cultural Guanajuato. It is a cultural complex, entertainment, and artistic formation space that promotes the professionalization of regional artists, the formation of audiences, as well as cultural tourism. It has several spaces. Huiberto Jiménez Moreno State Library, with more than 170,000 volumes, the State Institute of Culture offers the services of this library with a capacity to attend up to 2,400 users per day. Guanajuato's Art and History Museum, the cultural identity, the historical roots, the evolution, and the artistic production of Guanajuato, from prehistory to the present day, are the collection and vocation of this museum that has regional history and art room, sculpture room, temporary exhibition hall, Mateo Herrera Auditorium, and bookstore. Bicentennial Theater, being considered as the best opera theater in Latin America. It is an avant-garde venue with the capacity to accommodate 1,500 people, and where you can enjoy various artistic expressions such as opera, music, theater and dance. Academic unit for culture and art, attached to the University of Guanajuato. It offers the following programs: degree in culture and art, diploma, workshops and courses. Transportation. Del Bajío International Airport. The Del Bajío International Airport, Guanajuato International Airport, serves the city, although it is located in the neighboring city of Silao. Cycling. The city's bicycle paths are extensive. León is one of the most bicycle-friendly large cities in Latin America and has an extraordinary track record in active transport, keeping the biking and walking share above 39% of the total trips, one of the highest values in Latin American cities. Integrated transportation system. Integrated transportation system, it's Sistema Integrado de Transporte, in Spanish, refers to the development and implementation of a bus rapid transit system named Optibus. Since September 28, 2003, the integrated transport Optibus began to operate despite an existing need for a subway system metro, which originally was planned construction with 2 lines. The system was the first of its kind in Mexico, León being the first city in the country with a BRT system, before it was implemented in Mexico City as Metrobus and Guadalajara as Macrobus. Optibus system. The current route system is divided into 4 categories. These are trunk routes. They consist of 8 main lines that cross the city from end to end. The buses are also known as orugas, caterpillars in Spanish due to its articulated midsection. They have capacity for 175 passengers. The Optibus transit system consists of 52 stations located in the central area of the main avenues of the city. Feeder and auxiliary routes. These are urban bus routes that were integrated into the regular system as a stop, as they have 1 or more transfer stations, are identified by the letter A. Feeder route / yellow decals or X auxiliary route / blue decals. Conventional routes. These routes that circulate through most of the city and are distinguished by having the corporative colors from its owners: orange, red, pink, purple, and green. Suburban roads. Roads are circulating outside or on the city edge communities as Comangela, Duarte, Loza de los Padres, La Hacienda, etc. There are currently 3 permanent transfer stations: San Jeronimo, Delta de Geras, and San Juan Bosco, 2 micro stations, Santa Rita Park Juarez, which are the endpoints for trunk routes, feeder routes, and auxiliary routes. Passengers at these stations are allowed to transfer without cost from any of these lines. In addition, as a control measure, a Pago bus system has been instituted. There are 2 types of cards: preferential and general, cost rates with 50 and 15% lower total cost. The environmental benefits of the system are also high, not least because the system introduced articulated buses using Euro-Roman 4 technology and ultra-low sulfur, resulting in 5,600 tons of CO2 reduction annually. León public transportation statistics. The average amount of time people spend commuting with public transit in León, for example to and from work, on a weekday is 78 min. 21% of public transit riders ride for more than 2 hours every day. The average amount of time people wait at a stop or station for public transit is 20 min, while 40% of riders wait for over 20 minutes on average every day. The average distance people usually ride in a single trip with public transit is 5.1 km, while 2% travel for over 12 km in a single direction. Education and research. Universities. Universidad de Guanajuato, National Autonomous University of Mexico, Ibero-American University, Monterrey Institute of Technology and Higher Education, Universidad Tecnológica de Mexico UNITEC Campus León. Instituto Politécnico Nacional UPIG IPN Campus Guanajuato. Polytechnic of Guanajuato. Instituto Tecnológico de León. Universidad de León. Universidad de la Salle Bajío. Universidad Tecnológica de León. Sports. Football. The city's main professional association football team is Club León, which is one of the foremost teams in Mexico, 8-time league champion, now playing in the Liga MX. The team's stadium, Estadio León, also bears a Catalan name, Nou Camp. FIFA World Cup games have been played there 1970 and 1986. A new franchise with the name of Curtidores appeared in the Primera Division in the mid-1990s, but, after being champion in 1999 and earning the right to play in the Primera Division, was sold and moved to Puebla to become Puebla FC. In 2007, a new franchise named Union de Curtidores began playing at Segunda Division. Nowadays, there are several football teams in the city playing in the Tercera Division: Atlético Eca, Juventud Cura and Comudeg, among some others. Club León also has a women's section that plays in Liga MX Femenil. Rally Mexico WRC. Since 2004, the city has hosted the headquarters of Rally Mexico located at the Centro de Conventions Palaforum León, which is one round of the World Rally Championship. Thousands of fans camp at the nearby Sierra de Lobos and Sierra de Guanajuato mountains to watch the rally. The service park is also located and visited by fans at the Palaforum León. The rally takes place in 3 cities: Guanajuato, Silao, and León. Basketball. Since 2004, León has a basketball team, Lechugueros, which plays in the Liga Nacional de Baloncesto Profesional (LNBP). They play in the Domo de la Feria, formerly known as Auditorio Municipal. Before this team, the city had other professional basketball teams: Lechugueros' original franchise, Zapateros, Pony León, and Atléticos. These teams participated in the Simba Circuito Mexicano de Basquetbol, which was the main basketball league of Mexico in the 1970s and 1980s. Baseball. León had 2 baseball teams in the Liga Mexicana de Baseball: Cachorros de León in the late 1970s and Bravos de León in the late 80s. Bravos, after becoming champions of the league in 1990, and due to financial problems, were sold and moved to Minatitlan, Veracruz. After many years of unsuccessful attempts to bring back baseball to León, it was announced on November 1, 2016 by the Assembly of Presidents of the Mexican League, the entry of León, Guanajuato, subject to certain conditions. The Bravos de León returned to play in 2017. Tennis. León has been a host city for the yearly ATP Challenger Tour since 1992. Golf. León hosts an annual event on the Web.com Tour. In 2015, the event was held from April 13–19. Notable natives and residents. Columba Bush, wife of former Florida governor and 2016 presidential candidate Jeb Bush. They met in 1970 when he was teaching English in León. Chucho Castillo, world champion boxer. Maria Grever, composer. Tio Gonzalez, comedian and former football player. Lucia Mendez, entertainer. Felipe Zetter, Mexican-born football player, Club Atlas and Mexico national football team, 1950 FIFA World Cup. Twin towns, sister cities. León is twinned with